From the Star in Frisco, we've got Sean Kemp himself. Isaiah Standback, Barry Church. I'm Kyle Gilman. Welcome into Hit Sticks, everybody. It's Seattle week, so Isaiah Standback's ready to roll. Cowboys, Seahawks, but first we take a look back next. It was another 40-burger for the Dallas offense. 45-10 the final score over the Washington Commanders as Mike McCarthy and company continue to trend in the right direction on offense. And it's not just because Dak Prescott has been playing well or just because the offensive line has been blocking up for Dak Prescott. It's because weapons like Brandon Cooks have been getting more involved in the passing game. On this play specifically, a little eyewash from Jake Ferguson. Dak Prescott has a nice little play action before a bootleg outright, and then what a route from Brandon Cooks. Puts a foot in the ground, goes straight to the goal line. Dak Prescott hits him at the goal line, and it results in 6. Brandon Cooks has scored in 3 of the last 4 games. He's continued to see his role grow in this offense, and now we're going to try and see it recreated on Madden. With that being said, I want Isaiah Standback to put Brandon Cooks back in the end zone here. How can you get him in the end zone against this Washington defense?
Well, you can start off by making sure that Mr. Dak Prescott is go ahead and dicing things up just for Mr. Brandon Cooks. Now, we've known that CeeDee Lamb and Brandon and Dak Prescott have been on the same page for some time now. Okay, absolutely going crazy. Okay, CeeDee Lamb, 1,000 yards, all that jazz. Okay, but the other man who was the forgotten man was Mr. Brandon Cooks. And he came into this year with, 6 1,000-yard seasons? And people were like, put some respect on his name. Just give me an opportunity. And now Coach McCarthy and Dak Prescott are doing just that, especially when you try to play man-to-man coverage on him. You see a single high safety. Dak Prescott's eyes light up like a deer in headlights. He gets very excited. CB's Cooks with the one-on-one matchup. He hits him with that ooh-wee, routes him up, and takes him to the post game. You see on the far left side of the screen right now, there's nothing but space and opportunity over there. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott, Coach McCarthy, and Brandon Cooks saw. And that's exactly what they took advantage of. We'll try to recreate it right here.
And as a defense, man, this is the worst defense you want to be against in Dallas. It's a single high because they have too many weapons. Like you mentioned, Lamb, Cooks, Ferguson out there, Schoonmaker's getting involved, Gallup, Tolbert. There's just too much guys out there and too much skill out there to go man-to-man on the outside. That's what Washington did right here, and it was a fatal blow for them.
Now let's try to make it happen again. Play action. Bam. Got him. Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. We're going to go take it to the replay real quick. We'll walk you through it. Okay, get jiggy there.
See, you got jiggy with that.
Swerve on him. Hey. All right, let's go ahead and take it to the replay real quick so we can talk exactly what these guys were doing, okay? Boom, here comes the safety. Right there, you guys see the safety in the middle of the screen. He's going to bite on the play action a little bit, okay? That's going to hold him. All right, we got the tight ends blocking. We got Fergie over there just in case. Okay, we got Schoonmaker sitting in there as well. Now, we started talking about the isolation on that safety, okay? You've seen B. Cooks do a good job right here at the top of the route, giving him the little ooh-wee, okay, the little head nod right here. Now, as soon as he gives him that, now all his attention goes to there. It goes right to that far corner. He is literally running to that back pylon. That is his marker. Now, as he does that, what is Dak Prescott looking for? Dak Prescott is simply looking for this safety to be out of position. As soon as he sees B. Cooks right now, full speed, getting ready to cross the face of this safety, he knows for sure he trusts the speed of Brandon Cooks to cross that face. That safety can't get out of his break before he can deliver the ball. Now we swerve around here. You see Dak already loading up. Okay, that's what we're talking about. He's throwing it to that far corner. That is his marker. He has all kinds of room for error. Should he need to loft the ball? Should he need to put it on a rope? Whatever it needs to be. But he finds a way to get the ball in his hands and go ahead and tackle him. It doesn't matter. It's still 6 points.
And when you look at it from the defensive side of the football, this is why leverage is so important when you talk about the deep half of the field. This safety right here has in between the numbers. He's the middle of the field defender. You only got one person screaming down the field at you, and that's Cooks. You have the corner on the outside. He didn't get great hands on him. You see the release from Cooks right there, did a great job stacking him, but you have a little bit of help outside. If you go ahead and get even with that wide receiver, he has a two-way go now, and as a safety, there's nothing you could do about that. He's going full speed one way. You're backpedaling. Dak Prescott puts it on the money. Touchdown, Cowboys.
So that's one way that the Cowboys have utilized their weapons on offense, like Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb and company. They'll look to continue to do that against the Seattle defense. But the Seattle offense has some weapons of their own. DK Metcalf and company are coming to AT&T Stadium. How will they get after this Dallas defense when we come back with more Hit Sticks?
Cowboys Hit Sticks, presented by Madden NFL 24. Is also brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, and by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Hit Sticks. It is Seattle week. The Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks meet at AT&T Stadium on Thursday Night Football, and it's going to be a fun one, mostly because of the weapons that Seattle has going up against this Dallas defense. This is not going to be an easy matchup for Dan Quinn and company, because not only do they have Geno Smith at quarterback, he was a Pro Bowler last year. He's had its ups and downs this year, but he also has weapons to throw the football to. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Noah Fant, they all can make plays. So Barry Church, which one are you going to focus on the most out of this wide receiver bunch, and how do you try and stimulate these weapons?
Man, it's like pick your poison when it comes to this Seattle trio of receivers they got out there. I mean, you got Metcalf, who's built like our very own Isaiah Standback out here, just Zeus in effect. And you got Lockett, who's just been Mr. Consistency. You talk about short routes, intermediate, deep routes he can beat you with. And then the rookie Smith and Jigma, he does it all as well. I mean, quick off the line, super good slot receiver. So it's kind of like pick your poison when you talk about this offense. But for me, I got to make sure we get Metcalf under lock and key right now. I mean, this is a guy who can jump with the 50-50 balls. He can take hits. He has unbelievable yards after catch when you talk about getting the ball in his hands. So we got to make sure we neutralize him. I believe this Dallas Cowboys pass rush will be able to get after Geno Smith back there and make sure has happy feet back there as far as going through his progressions. But if that doesn't happen, we got to disguise the back end back there. We got to make sure that he doesn't have the study guide before the test. So we're going to see if we can confuse Mr. Geno Smith out there before he goes out there and snaps the ball.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned about Geno Smith was his happy feet, and that's something that he has struggled with this year. He's been a very inaccurate passer, just over 60% on his completion rate, but this offensive line is the reason why. The offensive line has given up on over 40% of his dropbacks has been pressured.
Ooh,
so he's struggling a little bit in that regard, but to your point, the personnel is there. If he has the time, any of these guys can torch you, right? And they can make you pay. So I'm going to do my best to give him time so that he can go ahead and get the ball in the hands of Mr. Lockett, Smith and Jigba, or Metcalf. Don't forget about Noah Fant, too.
That's true. That's true. He's a weapon in his own. All right,
see what you got. Looks like cover 3 right now, single high safety. They're making it look like man on the left, but my quarterback coach used to always say, there's somebody on the defense that's going to give it away. Right now, I'm thinking this right over there on Stephon Gilmore. He's in no man's land. He gave it away.
Gilly, what you doing over there, Gilly?
Let's see what we got.
Gilly done gave me away. Oh, Mr. INT himself. Are we going back to the crib for 7?
No.
Oh, he got caught up. You want to run it back?
There goes that man. Now show him what you did.
All right, let's go ahead and break it down for the people.
Go ahead and take a peek right here. I was being greedy. I should have went to the underneath route, but we were playing Madden.
You had space.
I had space. I didn't want to take the easy one. So we're going out here, okay? One of the things you talked about was trying to shut down DK Metcalf. I had DK Metcalf on a post. So right off the back, I was correct. It was cover 3.
You were.
Right now, you let him get a free release. How do you feel about him not having him?
You got to get hands on this guy. You can't. I mean, he's a freak of nature out there. If you just let him go up the field, Geno Smith's going to just toss that thing up each and every time. You got to get hands on him, especially in the zone coverage, to throw off that timing between him and Geno.
So right now, the right side of the screen is off limits to me, okay? So if we swerve over here, I'm looking, okay, I can't go. I can easily dump it off right here. Noah Fant, you have Gilmore, the zone that he's going into is Gilmore's responsibility. DK Metcalf is back there with Hooker, okay? So that whole right side of the field is taken away. I knew that right off the back as soon as I saw the pre-snap read. So I said, come off the right side, let's go to the left side. Now, knowing that right side is out of the picture, okay, I got to come to the left side. So now we're on the left side, okay? You got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Great job getting your hands on them right here at the line of scrimmage. Let's go ahead and see this. This is exactly what Mr. DCBC was talking about.
That's what they should have did to Metcalf on the other side. But right here, Jordan Lewis does an amazing job. He's in zone coverage, so he doesn't have a man-to-man. But to make things easier on your whole safety right there, because he's going to have two guys screaming at him. If you get hands on that slot receiver, all right, that'll slow down his route out there, and it'll speed things up for Geno Smith, and it'll make things easier for that whole safety hooker to get a good read, get a good jump on the quarterback. But if you don't get hands on them and you let two guys scream down the field, it's like picking your poison. Which one you want to go to? And if you pick wrong, then it's a touchdown on the other end.
Correct. So what the concept that we had going over here was a smash concept. So Jackson Smith and Jigba was running a corner route, okay, and I had Tyler Lockett on the under route. It's really to take advantage of cover 3, right? So right now, the disruption is happening, okay? The timing is off. Right now, you see Tyler Lockett coming out of his break, running his under route, and Smith and Jigba are supposed to be already to the corner. But because you did a good job of getting the jam in the slot, it disrupts the entire concept of this route, okay? So right now, if I'm going to go anywhere, it has to be check down, okay? The only person that's open right now is the check down. But I was greedy again, okay, and I went over the top. So right there, you see the check down right in front of me, okay, or I could wait for Tyler Lockett to keep coming on his under route and present himself in that window right there, which he probably would have got his head knocked off. Now we start talking about this cover 3, okay? What's going on? All right, we got Smith and Jigba running to this corner route, but look at Deron Bland's eyes. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and swing over here real quick. All right. Right now, Deron Bland has nobody in his zone. He takes care of his responsibility. I'll let you talk him through it, DC.
Yeah, he does a great job right here. If you look at it, if we let the play run a little bit, he's seeing his wide receivers breaking in, giving an in-in call to Jordan Lewis right there to let him know he has somebody coming in his zone, and then he gets deep. He gets depth because he's controlling that deep third of the field as we see Smith and Jigma do a corner right into the cover 3 zone of Bland, and we all know what type of ball guy this guy is. He snatches that out of there, and in real life, I think he's taking that to the crib for his 7th interception return for a touchdown. I don't know where I was going on this one. This is a game because we all understand he is not getting caught. But I don't know who that is, but he's not getting caught by that man. This guy has electric return skills. And once again, when the ball's in his direction, he's able to take advantage of it. You love to see it from this defense. Hopefully we can get more of that come Sunday. Or Thursday. I'm sorry about that.
Sunday, Thursday, it doesn't matter. Deron Bland has picks at any time of the week. He's had picks on Thursdays and on Sundays this year, and he'll have a couple more like that, I'm sure, throughout the season. The only thing unrealistic about Madden there is the fact that he didn't take it back to the house because he's put up some video game numbers, but his video game numbers are too much for the video game itself anyways. He would have taken that back to the house any day of the week. But with that being said, this defense is not only going to have to defend the deep ball, they're going to have to defend the screen game as well. How does that turn things around and challenge Dan Quinn in this defense? We'll talk about that when we come back with more Hit Sticks right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Don't miss the Christmas extravaganza hosted by the Dallas Cowboys and the Star in Frisco out at the Tostitos Championship Plaza, 6 o'clock. Friday and Saturday through the holiday season. Bring the entire family because there's fun for everybody. Cowboys cheerleaders, fireworks, the Christmas tree lighting, Santa Claus, and more. Bring everybody out. It is free for the entire family. Be sure to go online for more information at DallasCowboys.com. As we welcome you back into Hit Sticks, Kyle Yeomans with you, Barry Church, Isaiah Standback, breaking down this Cowboys matchup against the Seahawks this week. And we just talked about the deep ball against these weapons of Seattle, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett. But how do you compete underneath? How do you continue to slow down the screen game? Because that's one way that they've been able to get the ball to their weapons. Because Isaiah Standback, they haven't been able to block up guys very much, but they have been able to get it outside on the screen.
Yeah, we just talked previously about them being at the bottom or the top, however you want to look at it, in the league in terms of pressures allowed on Geno Smith. And that's a problem for them. They're struggling up front. They have a young group up front that's really, they're just not great. I don't want to disrespect anybody that's in the NFL, but they're just not playing well together. So with that being the case, you have to find a way to get your playmakers the ball. They have way too much talent. Anybody who knows the game of football understands that these guys are a three-headed monster at the receiver position, and you have to still find a way, even with your protection struggles, to get the ball in their hands, and one way to do so is through the screen game.
Yeah, when you talk about screens, it's going to take the aggression out of that defensive line that Dan Quinn loves to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, because you can't just run run straight through them to the quarterback, because that opens up so much more for the screens, whether you're talking about a bubble screen with the receiver, whether you're talking about a screen with the running back, whatever the case may be, your eyes and your ears got to be on an antenna, and they got to be alert. But in order to make sure you limit the screen, it's all about keeping the cup. That's what my old coach Eberflus used to always say. You got to have a contained piece. You got to have the guys coming from the inside hustling, and then you got to have a top piece to the cup, which is probably your free safety, making sure things don't get loose out there. So to me, if you keep the cup, whether it's a receiver screen, a running back screen, whatever the case may be, you can limit those gains. Not saying you're going to shut it down necessarily, but you can limit it from being, a 20 to 25 yard gain to maybe just a 5 to 6 yard gain, which you can manage exactly.
Right, here we go.
You like to
close,
see
very, very close.
Very close.
Very close. All right, so what I'm trying to do here, okay, obviously try to run a little RPO right there to get you to bite on it. You did not bite on it.
No, sir. No, sir.
But I'm trying to get the ball out here to the mismatch, okay? We just talked about Marquise Bell and how he is a really good linebacker, but there's a mismatch against Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's one of the quickest guys coming out of the draft last year. Kyle can tell you more about that. But this dude is a complete beast. So what are we doing right here? We're trying to take this and say, hey, if you want to put man on over the top of our receivers, perfect. All right, that's one-on-one. DK Metcalf versus anybody except for your defensive lineman is a mismatch.
He's going to win.
He's going to win, okay, in terms of blocking, okay? Then we got Bobo over down here in the slot. He's a good-sized receiver as well who's physical. So now you're just looking at it and say, Marquise Bell, be the man to make the play, because from my perspective, if I have the ball in my hand, that's the route that I'm taking. I'm taking it right in between those two guys right there. I'm going to try to set you inside, get you leaning to your left, and then I'm going to split it in between those two receivers. There's not a great ball right here. The ball is actually upfield. If this is on the other side with DeRon Bland, I would think that this is probably an INT. Either way, boom, Marquise Bell's Johnny on the spot. He finds it, he sees the gap, shoots the gap, and is able to make a play on him at the line of scrimmage. But you guys can see the potential here. If he misses, if it's a better ball, or if he misses this tackle, look at the opportunity that's available to them. DK Metcalf is doing a good job of forcing Gilmore inside. Now you talk about getting to that sideline and running up the whole sideline, and that's going to be a tough task for anybody coming from the inside, because that dude got the juice to get loose.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when you talk about the screen game, it's just all about numbers. It's all about numbers right now. And as you see, it's kind of a 3-on-3 matchup right now if you're looking at it from Seattle's view. Those two wide receivers out there matched up on those two DBs. They did a great job blocking. In real life, you would love to see Marquise Bell shoot that gap like that. But if there's a better ball being thrown right there, I think in Jigba, with the open field against a Marquise Bell one-on-one like that, I think Seattle likes their chances. So that's a defense that I wouldn't like to play against a screen. That was a man-to-man coverage. We know Dan Quinn loves to run man-to-man out there, but that's something I do not want to see when you're going against a screen, because Jack, like you said, Jackson Smith and Jigba, butchered his name, but it is what it is. He can make a lot of people miss one-on-one in the open field, and that's a matchup they do not want to see on Thursday.
From weapons on offense to what they bring on defense, we take a look at the Seattle defense when we come back on Hit Sticks. Welcome back into Hit Sticks, where we now flip the attention to the Seattle defense, and they've got playmakers at all three levels of this defense. You could talk about the young corners with Devin Witherspoon and Reek Woolen on the outside, or maybe even on the interior with Leonard Williams. And then the second level, you've got Bobby Wagner out there as well. There are so many playmakers on this Seattle defense, but Isaiah, where are they going to challenge the Cowboys the most?
The whole defense. The front seven is solid.
That makes sense.
You talk about the Leonard Williams, the addition on the interior. You talk about Bobby Wagner and Brooks on the second level. Bobby Wagner has over 110 tackles on the season already. And then you got these defensive backs that Barry loves so much.
Yeah, this is probably the best defense outside of the San Francisco 49ers that the Cowboys are going to have to play so far this season. The matchup that you got to keep your eye on for the regular or for the game is got to be Tariq Woolen on the corner versus CeeDee Lamb. That's going to be a heck of a matchup.
All right, let's see what we got here. Single high safety. Looks like these guys are head up. Man to man. Let's go.
Oh,
jam.
No, sir.
Oh,
no,
the cookies.
Oh, Brooks.
Shoot your shot.
Let's go.
Good job on the defense. I'll give you a quick look. Let me tell you what I was trying to do. I was too excited, Barry, so I put a little bit too much pressure on the X button, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to show y'all what I was going to do. I knew it was man-to-man, so I had a little rub route. Look over here on the left side. I got Michael Gallup on the ball. Okay, I got B. Cook. He's going to come right off his left hip. Boom, he takes the inside release. Give me that right there. You can see that right there. You see the window of opportunity that I'm trying to get to right behind this linebacker right here, but I was too anxious like Genuine. I was too high. I held the X button too hard, which forced him to throw a bullet pass. I should have thrown a loft pass right here to this little gap, and then I would have been 6 all day. But you know what? I'll give you a gift. It's a holiday season.
If you run it back, I'm surprised you didn't do this because Dak Prescott has done a good job of this so far this season. If you look at Tony Pollard right there as he leaking into the flat, the guy was wide open. All right, there was just nobody on him. And Dak Prescott has done a great job of, checking things down, not compounding the issue. As we see right there, hopefully that doesn't happen on Thursday.
And when we come back here on Hit Sticks, we take a look at guys versus the game. What does Madden NFL 24 believe is going to happen this week? Welcome back into Hit Sticks with Isaiah Standback, Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Let's take a look at Madden's prediction for this week. We'll start late in the third quarter. Jackson Smith and Jigba scores a 49-yard touchdown. Seattle goes up by 10. Dallas would fight back, though. Jake Ferguson scores from 2 yards out late in the fourth quarter, but Seattle would ice it, and they win it 20-14. That was the final score to win it. So Madden believes that it's going to be Seattle that wins. What do you think, Barry?
I believe the Cowboys will win 24-17.
24-17?
Yes,
Lower
sir.
scoring overall. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Dallas 24-17 as well.
Wow, same score. All right. I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys, but I think they score a little bit more than that. I'm going to say 31-16.
Okay.
Something weird happens. 31-16 Dallas. That does it for us this week here on Hit Sticks.
Cowboys Hit Sticks, presented by Madden NFL 24, was also brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, and by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.